All right, so today I am going to be showing off a pretty advanced AI workflow or technique that I added to help me try to automate my business, where the part of the business that is not quite making money just yet, but it's taking a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of emotional energy for no payoff. So I need to automate as much of it as I possibly can to just help me move faster and frankly spend less time on it. So let's jump into it. First, my random story for today, which leads right into what I'm going to talk about and kind of prove my point why I need to do what I'm doing. So just a little while ago, I got this lovely email from a subscriber to my newsletter. Sure, I'll read it really quickly. I generally have enjoyed the sites you've been sharing. However, I'm very disappointed that you are assisting that idiot in deflecting attention from the Epstein files and sharing his truth social post along with it. I mean, what? I don't support MAGA slop and will be unsubscribing. There's a lot to unpack there. Number one, you're assuming I am an American. Let's start there. Number one, not y'all, especially the American viewers, not everyone is American. Not everyone lives in the US. Not everyone even knows what you're talking about when you just blindly send an email like this. I see this a lot with Americans. So I am an American, but I have not lived in the US since Obama was president. I feel more and more removed from all the politics just from not living there for over a decade. First of all, this weekend, which I'm going to share, I worked about 12 hours on the newsletter, and I'm going to show you that work in a second. It's pretty interesting. It's especially powerful, like way of using AI and keeping a human in the loop. But this is exactly why I had to put a lot of the advanced features for Channel Surfer behind a paywall. This is exactly why I did that. I actually thought really long and hard about doing that. So what happens when you give something away for free? Like, this is a free newsletter. I don't use AI. It's actually human curated, but I'm using AI just to help me. You'll see in a few minutes, but it's basically like to have a really advanced sort. That's it. I'm sorting a table like in an advanced way to help me save time. It's all human curated. I've spent my own money, like a lot of money on the newsletter. I did my 25 projects in 25 weeks to like promote this newsletter that's free. And this is the kind of weird wackadoo emails you get from people because it's a free thing. People don't have skin in the game. It's just the strangest phenomenon. And this is why so many entrepreneurs have gone away from making amazing consumer products, consumer apps, consumer goods. And this is, I think, a large part of why consumer products and services have really degraded in the last couple decades. It's because no one wants to deal with consumers. Consumers are fickle. People get really upset. I'm sure you've seen with your own eyes or on viral social media, like people having meltdowns, like at the counter dealing with some poor worker who makes minimum wage. I've seen this poor behavior with my own eyes. So this is a free thing. And I didn't want this kind of behavior for Channel Surfer. I've gotten a lot of emails already about Channel Surfer from free users. I'm begging for feedback. I'm very grateful. A lot of the emails were fantastic, really good feedback, really good, clear cut. Like, hey, it'd be great if I could do this. Hey, there's a problem here. I'm super, super happy and grateful. But I also got like weird wackadoo emails, like really over the top entitled behavior, bizarre, like you should feature my channel and you should make these changes, like very like demanding, not cool emails. And I was like, I know if people are paid, they're not going to act that way. And sure enough, I got a new customer since the last video. I have been almost begging those people to give me feedback. And it's been really hard to get feedback out of them. I get way more feedback from the free people. And that's exactly what I expected to see. And for my own mental well-being, I'm like, I need to make money if I'm going to work on this. I just wanted to point that out. Like, people wonder, why is the internet dying? Why isn't there all this cool stuff? Because when you put something out there, you get weird ass emails and rants and stuff from people. It's bizarre. And I did not post anything from his True Social, by the way. Just to be clear, I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Actually, what I did post, I posted a link to the U.S. government's page for the UFO. So they just released this page, and it's pretty bizarre. And actually, some of the pictures of the Apollo missions I thought were actually pretty fascinating. They had like pictures from Apollo and things like highlighted, and you're kind of like, what? Actually, what is that in that picture? I thought it was interesting. And in my messaging, like I put sometimes an editorial blurb, and I honestly do not know what to make of this. Like, I didn't like take a side. I don't know. This guy's just a nut. If you're listening, Joe, adios, muchacho. Like, I don't really care that you unsubscribe, to be completely honest. So let's jump into the interesting stuff, because like I said, I did a lot of cool AI stuff. I built myself, again, for the free newsletter, by the way, let me just point that out. And it really sucks not making money on this and working so hard. It's really demoralizing. It sucks. I'm just trying to offer a cool free thing that I found all these great URLs. I'm just trying to share it with the world. I'm not like making money. I actually need money. I'm losing a lot of money. So I built this because I need to streamline the operation. I added hundreds of really interesting URLs that I've spent years collecting. Every time I see something interesting, I add it to the queue, and it's just a mess. So when I go to add something, like I clicked on this, like I want to add a URL for this day's email. I have to go through hundreds and hundreds of random URLs that I've added over the years. And I don't know. It's very time consuming to go through all these URLs, click on things, and find interesting things to show for the week. So what I wanted was, again, this is 100% human curated. I'm not outsourcing my taste or editorial thing to AI at all. All I wanted was help me AI rate all of these URLs, because a lot of people are submitting, especially more and more recently. A lot of traffic has come from Channel Surfer. Channel Surfer got big. So all these people have been coming to the newsletter. A lot of people have been submitting URLs. It's too much for me to like look at all of them. To surface the ones I added, because I'm like, what did I add? This is just like hundreds. I can't remember the goodies. What like help me rate and fill out some of the details that people are submitting, because I want the system to just be like, this is like a 10 out of 10. Like, someone submitted this, like this is at the top of the sort. That's all I'm doing. I just want a really fancy sort. What I did was I built up a prompt. Let's talk through this. Call it my taste rater. So I'm trying to teach the LLM my taste. So how I did that was I used a fantastic tool called Prompt Foo. So number one, I just vibe coded this with Claude. I had Claude help me, because this is an internal little thing. This is just a little dashboard thing I built for myself just to help me move faster. This is not a production thing. So I vibe coded the hell out of this with Claude, but it took me many, many, many hours. So I worked with Claude and I used Prompt Foo. Prompt Foo is a pretty sophisticated tool to help you rate and look at prompts. So you build up a prompt and you can see like basically how well it did against your test. It does a lot of features, but that's what I use it for. Is I build up like a suite of tests. So what I did was I went through 200 past URLs, so all the URLs I ever shared, and I hand looked at all of them and I gave them a score. Like, I think this is a 10 out of 10. I think this is a 9. I think this is an 8. This one's kind of sucks. This was a 6. In my eyes, everything 5 and under, I just didn't bother with. I wouldn't put that in the newsletter, but some of them were weaker than others. And I tried to weight it against the like obvious interest from the subscribers. There is a delta between like who opened and saw and who clicked on it. So I tried to like weight that into this kind of this rating. It's a little sophisticated. Bear with me. Essentially, I built up a prompt. Okay, what's going on here? Built prompt with Claude. So I did a first initial pass with Claude, and I told it, hey, this is what I want to do. Claude built the test and test data. It had me go and rate. So I went and rated all 200, because the more data, the better. So then Claude, I gave Claude the models. I said, because I just know from experience, I was like, I know I don't want to spend like $100. So don't use Claude. Don't use the latest. Use like a ChatGPT Nano. Use Grok. Try DeepSeek. Try cheap models. So I told Claude the models to try, and it wrote the test harness and ran the test. So it goes and it rates it, and it clearly sees like, hey, super off. The fucking thing doesn't know your taste. So I just kept working with Claude to get the prompt. And one trick I have found that really helps Claude with this, and I have a skill. I made a skill to like point to it. But there's this fantastic tool with amazing hand built prompts for a million things. And there's a tool where you could run things in the command line. But these are all prompts that have been, like, people have spent hundreds or thousands of hours on these prompts. They're extremely good prompts. Prompt engineering still is a thing, I would argue. Still matters a lot, especially for something like this. So my trick is point Claude to Fabric. I go, Claude, look at the examples in Fabric. Really investigate deeply, figure out the right prompting strategy, and that works every time. It blows my mind that this works. And it writes, okay, I wrote like V2. Let me rerun it. It goes, it's closer. That's a lot better. Still not right. I figured out that it needed more context, so I added metadata. So I'm like, go to the page and add the metadata. Get the OG image or what this thing is. If there is one, get like the title, page title and description, add that, pass that along to the model so it really understands how to rate this URL. What is this thing? And then, I kind of fucked up on this one, but go take a screenshot. Fire up browser. So I settled on, I realized I had to go take a screenshot and be like, rate, there's a nice prompt telling it, giving it examples, giving it the instructions, what to do, how to rate it. It used really clear patterns from Fabric to build up that prompt, and then went and crawled all of the URLs, and I gave it like 1,000 URLs. I was like, open this up and take a screenshot, get all the data you can, and then I did one more trick up my sleeve. I had to go to Perplexity, go search and find all it could to give a blurb, like build up a description of what it found, like, hey, this was a really popular thing on Hacker News. Hey, this was super popular on social media. It's this thing. I know this sounds like a lot. Oh, this is going to cost a lot of money and take a lot of time. This worked like magic. Like, really, this is what it takes to use AI and keep a human in the loop. That's why I'm sharing this. These are all the tricks I've learned after pushing on AI for years and years now. This is like the no BS way of how I build things. Like, I know it sounds extreme, but you got to think these things through. You got to give it examples. You got to give it as much detail. Give it a screenshot. Give it the meta tags. Like, what is the person who built that like random site? What do they say it is? What do they want the search engine and the share cards? Like, if they share it on X, what does that image look like? What does that share card look like? Give it as much context as it can to actually make a decision on how to rate it. It's not magic. You got to give it a lot of details. So I did that, and I kept working through the prompts, and I think we made it to version 7. And I was like, holy shit. Like, show me what the 10s are. Because I know in my mind, in my taste, I'm like, I know if it shows me a URL that's a 10 out of 10, I know if it's a 10 out of 10. I know if it's a 9. I know if it's an 8. I know if it's a 7. I know if it's a 6. I know if it's junk and I should not share it. 5 and below is definitely junk, and it worked. Took a long time, but it's working. And if you're going to do something like this, I highly recommend you collect data. You want to keep collecting data because the more data you have, like, you should and I settled on Grok, by the way. Grok ended up being, so when you run such a test with prompt foo, you try out all these models, you try out the prompt, and you pick the one that is the cheapest and most like matching your rating. I mean, I'm sure I could get a higher tier model to match my taste, but it's going to be really expensive. So Grok was one of the cheapest ones that worked really fast and reliably enough. So you want to also give it a rating and collect your own data as you go, because you're going to really build up a good data set to help further train in the future. And again, I am not letting it decide what to show in the newsletter. I just want a lot of data filled out, like, to help me, especially for like people submitting, or I bulk imported like a fuck ton of URLs, and it's just like, figure out which ones are trash and dead, and show me the ones that you think are good. And these are URLs I picked over time. It's not, no AI is picking things. It's just like to give me a really fancy sort so I can see like the best URLs when I'm deciding what to add. That's it. But this is gonna, instead of spending an hour trying to pick URLs for the week, I can do it in 10 minutes. And because I'm not making money on this newsletter, and because people are sending me weird political rants, emails, and not being nice, I don't think I should spend an hour a week on something that makes me no money. I still want to keep the newsletter going. Again, these are all URLs I added. I'm just having the AI help me surface those faster to you, the audience. So that's my taste radar, as I call it. And why am I so why did I do all this work? Also another reason for that, but also I'm going to incorporate this into an upcoming project. I'll talk about that later. So I really want to nail down this technique to use at scale for another project in the future. So there's also that. That's another big reason why I spent so much time and money. It cost me about $50 to go through 1,500 URLs. It saved me astronomical amounts of time, so I think it was worth it. Anyways, let's jump to questions and comments, or hate, because as I say, there's been a lot more hate lately, as you can clearly see. Keep it up, Steve. Thank you. Appreciate it. One last thing I'm going to say. I did my very first podcast interview. That is up in live on YouTube. I'm going to drop a link in the description. It was a lot of fun. I share more thoughts on like AI stuff. I've been in the trenches, like really pushing AI stuff as hard as I can for a number of years now. And I share some of my thoughts on AI and a whole slew of other things. It's about 30 minutes long. I'm going to drop a link. You can check it out if you want. If not, then no worries. I hope to do many more. It was really good practice. It was a lot of fun. See you next time.